everyone, welcome to another IFA writing video. As always, my name is Sophia and I'm going to be your writing instructor for today. So this week is Activism Week with IFA, which means that each teacher is going to be focusing on a separate or any social justice movement. So some people are going to be talking about Black Lives Matter, some people are going to be talking about LGBT rights for Pride Month. So I've already talked about this a bit in my first video, but this one's going to be a little bit different. We're going to be discussing how to feature people of color in your writing, as well as how to support and lift up these various movements as a reader or as a writer. Now, before I begin, I actually want to talk a bit more about how you can support the Black Lives Matter movement right now. Now, there's a lot of organizations that you can donate to or, contact for more information, but I'm just going to highlight a few right now. The first organization I want to discuss is the Marsha P. Johnson Institute. Marsha P. Johnson was a drag queen and activist who was influential during the Stonewall riots. The organization continues her legacy by advocating for the protection and acceptance of Black trans people, which is one of the most vulnerable groups in our society today. You can donate today by checking out their website, marshap.org. MARSHAP.org, and clicking the donate button. You can also read more about their cause and their goals there. Another organization you can donate to is the Black Visions Collective, which, according to their bio here, believes in a future where all Black people have autonomy, safety is community-led, and we're in the right relationship within our ecosystems. They use their funds to educate and support community advocacy projects. You can find a donation link at their website, blackvisionsmn.org. Now, if you can't donate, that's okay. There's plenty of other things that you can do to support the movement in your own community. For one, you can attend protests. Now, remember, we're in the middle of a global pandemic still, so please be careful, wear a mask, protect yourself, and don't go if you or someone you live with is high risk. You can also sign petitions, which is way easier than attending protests or donating, but it still makes a huge difference. There's a really great Google Drive folder made by Urushi Pant, who's one of my close friends and the founder of Wish and Spectrum, which is an LGBT organization. And this folder has plenty of resources that you can check out. So businesses that you can, or Black-owned businesses that you can support right now. There's petitions you can sign, the contact information for representatives that you should contact to show your support for the movement. Now, once you've done all that and read through all those resources, what next? What else can you do to support not just the Black Lives Matter movement, but social justice movements as a reader and a writer? One thing you can do is support and lift up authors who write about people of color or are people of color. Now, I was gonna do a series of book recommendations for this, but I was looking through all of my old books and I realized something. The problem with my library of books is that it's not all that diverse, right? I've read books that feature Asian American characters, I've read books that feature white characters, but that's pretty much it. I don't have a wide range of, diverse experiences in my reading, and I'm not really exposed to that. So what I wanted to do was do a bit of research and highlight authors of color that I want to read and I want to check out, and maybe we can do that together. I think a really important thing to think about is how you can diversify your library, especially during these times, and look into supporting more authors of color. So I wanted to start off by featuring the books I do have that are written by people of color and feature people of color. So the first one here is, oh, my wrist cracked. I don't know if you heard that, but the first one here is the Legend series by Marie Lu. It's a great series. I actually have all 3 books here with me. Well, this one comes second, this one is third. But yeah, it's a great series. She's written other ones. I think she has The Young Elites and then Warcross, I believe it's called. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure it's Warcross. But this is the only one I've read. I'm working on starting her other ones, but my sister has read Warcross. This one's still her favorite series, and yeah. The Legend series is a dystopian series that features June, who is a young government prodigy, and Day, who is a, I guess a rebel, considered a criminal in the society. And it's set in a future where the United States is caught in a civil war. And these two characters cross paths and are basically at the heart of the conflict. Another one I have is The Watsons Go to Birmingham by Christopher Paul Curtis. I know he has other books like Bud Not Buddy that are also geared toward, you know, young Black youth, but I believe this was his first one. He writes a lot of historical fiction, and a lot of his books are from the perspective of a child, but deal with really heavy topics such as race relations, racism, and prejudice. This one in particular, just a warning, there is a bombing at the end and racially charged violence is discussed, but I thought it was a really great read. The characters are all very realistic and, you know, interesting to read about. They feel like real people, and overall just an amazing book and something I'd definitely recommend. Another book I kind of wanted to talk about is The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas. Now that one's been on my list for a while now. I know it's been gaining traction for a couple of years. I'm pretty sure it was released in 2017, but you'll have to fact check me on that. But yeah, I ended up watching the movie before I read the book, which, well, I mean, it was a great watch. It was really interesting, really thought-provoking, and the book deals with a girl's experiences as a witness to her friend's murder, and it talks a lot about racial tensions and police violence. So definitely a heavy subject matter, but it is really eye-opening and, again, thought-provoking. Now, those were just a few recommendations. Go out, do some research, look at book lists, ask your friends, ask your family, just ask around, and try to find more authors of color and books from the perspective of people of color that you can read to, you know, educate yourself on these topics and diversify your library. It's really important to pay attention to this because, again, the voices of people of color are usually silenced or ignored, and they don't have as much traction or recognition, especially in literature. So that's something that I think all of us have to keep in mind when we're reading, and try or put more effort into lifting up and supporting people of color, because there are so many great writers out there who haven't been discovered or who just haven't had as much recognition as they deserve. And it's just so important to support them because their voices are the ones that are going to be sparking discussion and sparking movements for change. They're the ones that are bringing awareness to issues that some of us haven't even thought about or heard about. And it's their experiences that are going to matter. Now, we're not just readers, but we're also writers. So how can you help people of color through your own writing? For one, have characters who, you know, go through different experiences, different races, different sexualities, different genders. Do your research and look into these things and read accounts of their experiences. Talk to people who are part of these minority groups and, you know, use them and use their experiences in your writing. I cannot begin to tell you how much representation matters in literature. I have this book with me, Counting by Sevens. I think a lot of people read it as kids or when they were younger. I know I did. I don't completely remember, you know, the plot. I don't remember that many details about it because I was just, you know, a lot younger when I read it. But I remember it features a Vietnamese American family in it, and when I was a kid, I remember reading it and just being blown away because I had never seen a Vietnamese person featured in a book before. It was like me, I'm Vietnamese, and so it was something that was very eye-opening for me and really just made me realize how little I see my own race depicted in the books that I read, you know. And yeah, so it made me very aware of race and very aware of the impacts of representation. Now, if you're a person of color and you want to, you know, get your writing out there, try to share your personal experiences. Share your experiences with race. Share your experiences with, you know, the society that you found yourself in. And try to get it published. Submit to local magazines. I have one, Cliche Teen Journal is what it's called. You can find them on Instagram. They also have a website, but I'm a submissions editor for them, by the way. But they work really hard to include a diverse range of you know, writers on their website. They take photography, they take literature, they take art, and right now I think they're doing a lot of features of Black activists in the community, and I just think it's, you know, I really like the effort they're putting into kind of diversifying their staff and making sure they have a wide range of voices on their website. You can also get involved with Brown Girl Magazine, which is a really great magazine that supports and uplifts South Asian writers. And right now, I don't think they're taking like applications to be, you know, a permanent writer on their staff, but they do take guest pieces that you can submit online on their website. You can find them at browngirlmagazine.com. They have a great community of writers. They publish a lot of informative articles and articles about, you know, personal experiences, and it's just a really great place to share your voice and listen to others. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you this week. This video actually came out a little bit shorter than I expected, but that's all right. And I hope that I kind of helped you see things in a different light today and think about representation in your own writing, think about representation in your reading, and I hope that I introduced you to some, or at least one, you know, new author that you could take a look at to help, you know, grow your library a little bit more. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. Bye.
Hi, we are your IFA co-founders. I'm Ellie.
And I'm Miriam.
And thank you so much for watching our videos.
You guys can learn more about our cause down below at our website, www.inspirationfinearts.org.
And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We couldn't be where we are without the support of you guys, so make sure to send in videos of the things that you've learned during classes and pictures of the art that you completed.
Everything you send in will be featured on all our social media platforms.
Thanks for supporting us, and until next time,
go find your inspiration.